Let me tell you something. You don't get to greatness by talking about it. You get there by grinding for it. See, everybody wants success. Everybody wants to look like they've made it. But when the alarm clock rings at 40:30 in the morning, when the gym is cold, your body is tired, your spirit is weak, that's when you find out who really wants it. Pain. It's not your enemy. Pain is the invitation, the proof that you're still in the game. You think warriors are born in comfort. No, warriors are forged in fire. You've been through storms. You've been doubted. You've been told you're not enough. But let me remind you, pressure doesn't break you. It reveals you. When you hit that wall, that point where your body says, I'm done, your mind says, I can't. That's where 40% lives. That's where the rest of your power hides. You've still got 60% left inside you screaming to be unleashed. So look in the mirror tonight and don't look away. That person staring back, that's your biggest competition. That's the one you've got to conquer, not your boss, not your rival. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to hand you greatness. You've got to earn it brick by brick, rep by rep, day by day. Every single time you feel like quitting, that's the moment you're building something legendary. Because comfort never made a killer. Ease never made an icon. You've got to suffer now so you can shine later. So the next time life knocks you down, don't you dare stay there. Crawl if you have to, bleed if you must, but keep moving forward because you are not ordinary. You are built from something deeper, stronger, unbreakable. Remember this, discipline is the bridge between pain and power. When the world goes soft, you stay hard. When others quit, you rise. When they doubt, you deliver. This isn't about motivation. This is about transformation. So stand up, Lock-in, and go get what's yours. Because the greatest version of you is waiting on the other side of grind. Pain. It's the one word most people run from their entire lives. They treat it like poison, like something meant to be avoided at all costs. But here's the truth. Pain isn't your enemy. It's your greatest teacher, your sharpest tool, your most loyal companion on the road to greatness. The difference between those who talk about success and those who live it isn't talent. It's how they respond when life starts hurting. You see, everyone loves the idea of success, the spotlight, the recognition, the feeling of achievement. But what they don't see, what they don't want to face is the suffering that comes with it. The lonely mornings when you wake up before the sun, when your muscles ache, when your heart feels heavy, but you show up anyway. The moments when no one claps, no one cheers, and the world seems to move on without noticing your grind. That's pain. That's where champions are born. Most people quit when they start to feel uncomfortable. The second things get hard, they look for the exit sign. But what they don't realize is that discomfort is the signal that you're growing. The moment you start to feel pain is the moment your body and mind are being asked to level up. Pain is the language of transformation. It's your soul saying, we're leaving who we were and becoming something new. Think about a muscle. You go into the gym and push it beyond what's easy. You feel that burn, that tearing sensation that makes you want to stop. But you know what happens after that? It rebuilds stronger. It grows. That's not weakness. That's adaptation. And the same principle applies to your mind. You discipline your spirit. Every time you face something hard, you're giving yourself the chance to evolve. But if you back down every time life burns, you'll stay the same. The truth is, pain doesn't discriminate. It visits everyone, the strong, the weak, the rich, the poor. The only difference is how you handle it. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. You can let it define you, or you can let it refine you. Every great person you've ever admired, every athlete, every leader, every innovator has had moments of deep pain. But instead of running, they leaned in. They embraced it. They said, all right, life, let's go. Hit me again. Because they understood that pain is the toll you pay to cross the bridge to greatness. There's a certain power that comes when you stop fearing pain. When you stop avoiding it and start using it, you begin to realize that pain is honest. It doesn't lie. It tells you exactly where you are. It shows you what you're capable of and what still needs work. Pain exposes weakness, but that's a gift because what's exposed can be strengthened. Pain reveals the truth, and truth is the foundation of power. Most people want to feel powerful without doing the work that pain demands. They want confidence, but they don't want to be challenged. They want strength, but they don't want struggle. They want success, but they don't want sacrifice. You can't have one without the other. The equation doesn't work that way. Pain is the down payment on every dream you ever chase. When you embrace pain, you begin to build something inside you that no one can take away. Resilience. Resilience isn't built when things are easy. It's built in the trenches. It's built when you're tired, when you're scared, when you feel like you've got nothing left but still take one more step. That's when you find your edge. That's when you discover that you can endure far more than you ever thought possible. And that's what David Goggins means when he says to embrace the pain. He's not talking about loving suffering for no reason. He's talking about using pain as a weapon, as fuel, as proof that you're on the right track. Because if you're not uncomfortable, you're not hurting, you're not pushing hard enough. The body adapts to ease. The mind adapts to struggle. You've got to learn to smile when it hurts. To see the pain come in and welcome it like an old friend. Because when pain shows up, that's your cue. That's your moment. It means you're stepping outside your comfort zone into the place where champions are made. Every rep that burns, every mile that feels impossible, every setback that knocks the air out of you. That's the process carving out your potential. So don't pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a hard one. Don't ask for lighter burdens. Ask for broader shoulders. Because the ones who embrace pain, who learn to find meaning in it, become unstoppable. They stop waiting for perfect conditions. They stop blaming circumstances. They stop making excuses. They take responsibility for their growth. They say, if pain is part of the price, then I'm willing to pay it in full. When you live this way, something incredible happens. Pain starts to lose its power over you. What used to break you now builds you. What used to scare you now sharpens you. You start to crave the challenge because you know what comes on the other side. You know that every ounce of discomfort carries within it a seed of greatness. If you're willing to endure it long enough to see it bloom. So the next time you feel pain, physical, emotional, mental, don't flinch, don't run, acknowledge it. Let it remind you that you're alive, that you're still in the fight. Let it be the proof that you're doing something that matters. Pain means progress. Pain means you're not stuck. Pain means you're still climbing. You can either let pain stop you or you can let it sculpt you into something unbreakable. The choice is always yours. But remember this, comfort never created legends. Ease never produced excellence. If you want to be more than average, you have to step into the fire. You have to let the pain shape you, mold you, and refine you until the version of you that comes out on the other side is unrecognizable. So embrace it. Own it. Let it become your greatest eye. Because the ones who learn to love pain, not fear it, are the ones who rise above every limitation. They're who build legacies. They're the ones who stay hard, stay focused, and stay unbroken, no matter what life throws their way. Your mind is the most powerful weapon you will ever own. It can either build you into a force that can't be stopped, or it can break you down until you're nothing but excuses and wasted potential. The difference between the two isn't luck or talent. It's conditioning. You've got to train your mind the same way a warrior trains his body. You've got to callous your mind. When you think of calluses, you think of hands that have worked, hands that have lifted, pulled, pushed blood, and healed. Every blister, every layer of skin that hardened over time came from resistance, from repetition, from pain. The same principle applies to your mind. If you want mental toughness, if you want resilience, you got to go through the grind. You've got to expose your mind to the friction of life until it becomes untouchable. Most people crumble the moment life gets hard because their minds are soft. They've lived too long in comfort. They've spent too much time running from challenges, hiding behind convenience. And just like hands that never see a day of hard work, their minds blister the second life gets rough. They panic under pressure. They fold when things don't go their way. They give up not because they're weak, but because they've never trained to be strong. Calling your mind isn't about becoming emotionless or cold. It's about developing the mental armor to face pain without letting it break you. It's about learning to push through discomfort, rejection, fatigue, and failure until none of it stops you anymore. Life will always throw punches. People will doubt you, situations will test you, and your own self-doubt will whisper lies in your ear. The only way to win is to train your mind to keep moving forward, even when everything in you wants to quit. You've got to build that toughness day. But every time you feel the urge to quit, that's the moment to lean in. Every time your mind says, I'm done, that's the cue to keep going. The mind is like a muscle that gets stronger through repetition and resistance. The more you expose it, the more it adapts. The more you face adversity, the less it scares you. That's how you build a callous mind, one layer at a time. Think about this. When David Goggins ran his first ultramarathon, he wasn't a runner. His body was screaming, his legs were wrecked, his feet were bleeding. But he kept going, not because his body could, but because his mind wouldn't let him stop. That's what happens when you've built a mind that's been through enough pain to recognize that discomfort isn't the end. It's just part of the journey. You can't callous your mind in a day. It's not a switch you flip. It's a lifelong process of deliberately putting yourself in situations that challenge you. You've got to seek out the grind. Wake up early when you don't want to. Work out when you're tired. Read when your brain wants entertainment. Do the thing you dread doing every single day. That's how you build that mental armor. But here's the part most people miss. Callousing your mind isn't about being tough for the sake of ego. It's about freedom. When your mind is tough, life loses its grip on you. You stop being controlled by fear, by doubt, by failure. You stop reacting emotionally to every setback. You start responding with strength, clarity, and control. You realize that no matter what happens, you've already been through worse and survived. That's power. Most people spend their lives protecting their comfort zones like sacred ground. They never stretch themselves, never take real risks, never face the storms that could change them. But when you shield yourself from hardship, you also shield yourself from growth. You can't build a strong mind in easy conditions. Just like Callous is formally through friction, mental strength only forms through struggle. You've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Every time you choose the hard route, you're building another layer of toughness. When you study instead of scrolling, when you grind instead of sleeping in, when you face your fears instead of avoiding them, you're adding layers to that mental armor. Soon, the things that used to scare you won't faze you. The things that used to break you will just bounce off. The beauty of a callous mind is that it doesn't mean you feel less. It means you've handled more. It means you can keep your composure in chaos. You can focus under pressure. You can lead when others are panicking. Because while everyone else is being crushed by the weight of the moment, you've already been under heavier loads. You've already carried the weight of discipline, of sacrifice, of self-doubt. And you didn't collapse. Every failure you faced, every heartbreak, every rejection, those were chances to harden your mind. But most people waste those opportunities by feeling sorry for themselves. Don't every painful experience carries with it a gift, a chance to grow tougher, wiser, stronger. You can't stop life from hurting you, but you can decide what that pain will make you. When you callous your mind, excuses start to die, laziness starts to die. The need for motivation starts to die because you no longer depend on mood. You depend on discipline. You don't need someone to push you. You've learned to push yourself. You stop looking for comfort because you've learned that comfort kills growth. You stop waiting for the right time because you've learned that the right time is now. And that's the secret. A callous mind isn't glamorous. It's not pretty. It's built in the dark and the hours nobody sees. It's built when you're grinding alone, when you're facing the cold, when you're doing the work nobody else is willing to do. It's built through repetition, sacrifice, and relentless self-discipline. There's a fire inside every human being, a hunger that calls you to do more, to be more, to break the limits that the world and your own mind have placed on you. But that fire doesn't burn forever on its own. It needs to be fed. It needs to be challenged. It needs to be disciplined. That's what it means to stay hard, stay hungry. It's not just a phrase. It's a way of life. It's a mindset that says, I will not get soft. I will not get comfortable. I will not stop when I'm tired. Most people lose that hunger somewhere along the way. As kids, we dream without limits. We want to conquer everything. But as we grow older, the world starts whispering in our ear. Be realistic. Play it safe. Don't push too hard. And before you know it, that fire turns into smoke. Comfort creeps in. You start celebrating small wins like they're there. You start believing you've done enough. That's when greatness dies, not from failure, but from comfort. Staying hard means never allowing yourself to become soft in mind or spirit. It means refusing to settle no matter how much you've already achieved, because success is a dangerous thing. It can make you forget the grind that got you there. It can make you forget the hunger that built your strength. But the real warriors, the ones who never stop growing, they understand that success isn't a finish line. It's just another checkpoint on a never-ending path. To stay hard, you've got to constantly challenge yourself. You've got to keep putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, because comfort is the enemy of growth. The moment you start seeking ease, you stop evolving. The moment you start thinking, I've made it, you start dying. Life doesn't care about your trophies or your titles. The world will keep testing you no matter how much you've accomplished. The question is, will you still be ready? Will you still have that hunger when no one's watching? That's what staying hungry is about. It's about never letting the fire inside go out. It's about wanting more, not out of greed, but out of a refusal to waste your potential. Hunger is what drives the human spirit. It's what wakes you up early, what pushes you through pain, what keeps you working when others have quit. Hunger is that whisper in your soul that says there's another level. But staying hungry isn't just about physical effort. It's about mental evolution. It's about staying curious, staying humble, staying a student. Because the moment you think you know it all, you've already started to lose. The best never stop learning. The best never stop asking questions. They know there's always a new skill to master, a new weakness to overcome, a new battle to fight. Hunger keeps you chasing growth long after the applause has faded. And let's be real. It's not easy to stay hard in a world that's gone soft. Everywhere you look, there are shortcuts, instant gratification, quick reward. Everyone's chasing comfort instead of character. But if you want to be uncommon among the uncommon, you've got to go the other way. You've got to choose the path that hurts, the path that demands everything from you. Because that's where true strength lies. You've got to wake up every day with something to prove, not to others, but to yourself. Prove that you can still push, still fight, still evolve. Prove that you can still outwork the version of you that existed yesterday. That's the real battle. It's not against the world. It's its complacency. It's against the voice that says you've done enough. Because the truth is you'll never be done. The mission never ends. When David Goggins says stay hard, he's not talking about toughness for the sake of ego. He's talking about mental durability. He's talking about keeping your edge sharp when life tries to dull it. Because life will always test you through pain, loss, failure, fatigue. If you let those things soften you, you'll start to lose your power. But when you embrace them, when you keep that warrior mindset alive, nothing can break you. You've got to make discipline your default. Motivation fades. Inspiration comes and goes. But discipline, that's what keeps you in the fight. Staying hard means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It means showing up when your mind screams no. It means putting in the work when nobody's clapping. That's the difference between those who talk about success and those who live it. Staying hungry also means staying grateful. Because gratitude fuels hunger. When you remember where you came from, when you remember the times you had nothing, you'll never lose the desire to keep going. The problem is, too many people forget. They reach a certain level of comfort and start to believe the fight is over. They stop chasing growth because they've tasted ease. But the great ones use gratitude as fuel. They say, I'm thankful, but I'm not finished. Every day you have to feed that inner beast. You have to do something that reminds you what you're capable of. Whether it's a workout, a cold shower, studying longer, practicing harder, do something that makes you uncomfortable. That's how you stay sharp. That's how you keep your edge. Because if you stop sharpening the blade, it starts to rust. And remember, staying hard and hungry doesn't mean being miserable. It doesn't mean living without joy. It means finding pride in the process. It means learning to love the grind because you understand that every ounce of effort is shaping you into something powerful. It's about knowing that the struggle is the reward, that the discipline itself is the freedom. One day, people will look at you and say, you make it look easy. But you'll know the truth. It's not easy. It's a choice every single day. A choice to keep going when others rest. A choice to stay disciplined when others drift. A choice to keep that fire alive when the world tries to put it out. So never let your hunger fade. Never let your mind grow soft. Push yourself past comfort, past doubt, past fear. Because the second you stop pushing, you start losing. The second you stop chasing, you start sinking. Life will test you again and again. So stay ready. Stay focused. Stay hard. When you wake up tomorrow, look in the mirror and remind yourself the mission is not over. I'm still in the fight. Because as long as you're breathing, there's work to do, another level to reach, another mountain to climb, another version of you waiting to be revealed through effort, struggle, and sacrifice. That's what it means to stay hard, stay hungry, to live each day with purpose, to never grow comfortable, to never stop becoming more. Because the greatest version of you is always waiting on the other side of pain. Persistence and relentless hunger. You have to understand life will never get easier. You just get stronger. The challenges won't disappear, but your reaction to them changes. What once felt impossible becomes routine. What once made you crumble becomes just another step in the climb. That's the gift of a callous mind. It transforms adversity from a threat into a tool. So ask yourself, how much longer will you let your softness control you? How much longer will you protect your comfort and call it peace? You've got greatness inside you, but it's buried under layers of fear, laziness, and excuses. The only way to uncover it is through pain, repetition, and discipline. Start today. Do something hard, something that scares you, something that forces you to face yourself. And when it hurts, because don't run, stay there. Let that pain do its work. Let it carve out your weakness and replace it with strength. Over time, you'll notice something powerful. You'll stop breaking when things go wrong. You'll stop doubting yourself. You'll stop fearing failure because your mind will be calloused, and calluses don't feel pain the same way anymore. They've adapted. They've grown tougher. And so have you. That's how you become unstoppable, not by avoiding struggle, but by training your mind to walk through it like a storm you're on. Because once your mind is callous, life can't hurt you the same way. You'll still feel pain, but you'll also feel power, the power to keep going no matter what. And that's the kind of strength that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. There comes a moment in life when you have to stop pointing fingers at the world and start pointing one straight at yourself. That moment happens when you stand in front of the mirror, no filters, no distractions, no excuses, and ask the hardest question of all. Am I doing everything I can to become who I'm meant to be? That's the power of what David Goggins calls the accountability mirror. It's not a fancy concept. It's not a motivational quote. It's raw truth. It's facing yourself with complete honesty. And most people never do it. We live in a world where it's easy to hide. Easy to blame circumstances, other people, bad luck, or the past. But when you strip all that away, when you're alone with your reflection, there's nowhere to run. The mirror doesn't lie. It doesn't care about your excuses or your stories. It only shows you the truth, who you are, what you've done, and who you've chosen to be. And the truth is often uncomfortable, but that's exactly why it's powerful. When you start being accountable to yourself, everything changes. Because accountability isn't about guilt. It's about ownership. It's about saying, if I'm not where I want to be, it's on me to change it. That mindset separates the weak from the strong, the talkers from the doers. Accountability is the foundation of self-respect. You can't respect yourself if you're lying to yourself. Every morning, when you look in that mirror, you have a choice. You can keep pretending that everything's fine, or you can confront the parts of you that need to change. You can keep talking about goals, or you can face the truth about why you haven't achieved them. The mirror doesn't care about your intentions. It only cares about your execution. You can't fake effort when you're staring at yourself. You know exactly when you've given your all and when you've coasted. That's why the mirror is so powerful. It keeps you real. It exposes the gaps between who you say you are and who you actually are. It forces you to face your laziness, your excuses, your habits, your lack of discipline. It makes you look at the version of yourself that you try to hide from everyone else. That's not easy. That's why most people avoid it. But the people who are brave enough to do it, to really look, to really take responsibility, those are the ones who grow. Accountability isn't about being perfect. It's about being honest. It's about saying, yes, I messed up. Yes, I didn't give my best, but I'm not going to live like that anymore. It's about owning your flaws and then using them as fuel. Because once you stop lying to yourself, once you admit where you've fallen short, you gain power. The power to change. You can't fix what you refuse to face. Goggins used to write messages to himself on sticky notes and put them on his mirror. Every insecurity, every weakness, every lie he told himself, not to shame himself, but to remind himself what needed to be done. That mirror became a battlefield where he confronted his own mind every single day. And that's what you've got to do, face the reflection and declare, I'm not running anymore. Because the truth is, you are your own biggest obstacle. It's not the economy, it's not your boss, it's not your friends, your past, or your genetics. It's you. It's the story you tell yourself about why you can't. It's the comfort you choose instead of growth. It's the excuses you repeat until they sound like facts. The accountability mirror strips all that away and shows you the raw version of yourself, the version that still has untapped potential, the version that's capable of so much more. When you start taking accountability, you stop living like a victim. You stop waiting for life to hand you opportunities. You start creating them. You stop saying, I can't, and start asking, how can I? Accountability breeds power because it gives you control. When you blame others, you give away your power. But when you own your situation, every success, every failure, every decision, you take it back. And let's be clear, accountability is not about beating yourself up. It's not about self-hate. It's about self-respect. It's about holding yourself to the standard you know you're capable of. When you look in that mirror, you're not supposed to tear yourself down. You're supposed to tell yourself the truth and rise above it. You say, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not staying here. That's the kind of honesty that transforms people. But being accountable also means being consistent. It's not a one-time thing you do when you feel motivated. It's a daily practice. Every day, check yourself. Ask, did I do what I said I'd do today? Did I give my best? Did I honor my commitments? If the answer is no, don't make excuses, make adjustments. If the answer is yes, build on that momentum. That's how you build discipline. That's how you earn trust with yourself. And that's one of the most powerful things accountability gives you, self-trust. When you keep promises to yourself, you build confidence. When you break them, you destroy it. Every time you say you're going to do something and follow through, you're reinforcing the belief that you can rely on yourself. And that's where real confidence comes from, not from external validation, but from the inner certainty that you can count on you. The accountability mirror teaches you that no one's coming to save you. It reminds you that your future depends on what you're willing to do right now. It doesn't care about potential. It cares about performance. You can have all the dreams in the world, but if you're not holding yourself accountable to act, they'll stay dreams. Accountability is the bridge between vision and victory. So tonight, when you stand in front of that mirror, don't look away. Don't cover up. Don't lie. Look yourself dead in the eye and say, this is who I am right now. And this is who I will become. Be brutally honest about your weaknesses, your fears, your habits, then make a plan to fix them. Write it down. Track it. Check in with yourself every single day. Because the truth is, the mirror is not your enemy. It's your mentor. It's not there to judge you. It's there to free you. The moment you start being accountable to yourself, you stop needing approval from others. You stop chasing validation. You stop running from failure. Because you know you're doing the work. You know you're building something real. So face the mirror, face your truth. And every day earn the right to look that reflection in the eye with pride. Not because you're perfect, but because you're honest, disciplined, and relentless. That's what accountability looks like. That's what growth feels like. And that's how you turn the person you see in the mirror into someone unstoppable.